Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 2, and what was a fast, crazy, frenetic game of football for about 65 odd minutes, and then the legs fell off and it became incredibly tense and nervous as Liverpool just seemed to run out of steam, and the counter-attacking game that had served them reasonably well up to that point, that had gotten them a 2-goal lead initially, just kind of fell a little bit flat when it was required, and Chelsea looked probably, on the balance of things, the more likely team maybe to snatch it in the end, which is a shame because two fantastic goals from the Reds. Mohamed Salah, an absolute, once again, moment of inspired genius down the right-hand side, played in by Trent, just clipping the ball over Mendy at his near post, and obviously Sadio Mane as well had already broken his goal a duck as well by rounding the goalkeeper and slotting left-footed. Kovacic stinks. Kovacic sticks in an absolute one in a million wonder strike. One of the goals of the season, which has to be applauded, and Liverpool just unable to keep it tight enough, and then ending up 2-2 before half-time thanks to a good finish by Christian Pulisic. Liverpool, a couple of reasonable moments in the second half there, and least of all, Mo Salah almost managing to chip the goalkeeper. But yeah, it was one of them. It was two teams kind of going toe-to-toe in their own way. Chelsea a very good team, and obviously with the crowd behind them, Liverpool just unable to plumb enough depth to get that one over the line. Substitutions, Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain not really adding enough to Liverpool's game, unfortunately, albeit a great performance from the deputising Caoimhin Kelleher in goal for the Reds. Definitely one of the high spots for us. But yeah, man of the match goes to Kovacic off Sky. I could have given it to him. I thought Kante was brilliant for them as well. You'd have been hard pressed to find a Liverpool player who really deserved it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game. It's your time to get your thoughts and opinions out the way. I'm going to read through them. If you want to use the live chat comments, just tag me, Mate. That's me in first. I'll read through. I'll get some from Twitter. Hopefully some from our Club Legend Discord chat as well. And yeah, we'll see if we can kind of work out what we need to be talking about on the instant match reaction a little bit later on as well. FPL skills. It was an intense match. We had chances. They had chances. Part of the match they dominated. Part we dominated. But a shame to lose our 2-goal lead. However, there was not much we could have done to prevent that. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Again, I don't know what else. You can't really do anything with the Kovacic one. It happens. We've said this before. There's a reason. Some people scoff at XG, but all it is really is just a way of working out the likelihood of things going in from where the shots are taken. And there's a reason why Liverpool don't take many shots from the edge of the box, because normally it's basically a wasteful thing to do, and that's why goals from the edge of the area are so special, and that's why that goal is so special. Could they have been a bit sharper for the second goal? Maybe but it was very the game of football. Liverpool's passing, I just didn't think was crisp enough. I thought the amount of times we just stood the ball up in the air or just played balls, and I think it's a lot of it's to do with Chelsea's position and how well they cut off passing lanes, of course, so you play the pass that's available to you. But I sort of imagine that we were just a bit too cute in our passing sometimes, when you needed to be just a bit firmer and a bit more straightforward with things. And it meant that we never really got settled on the ball, which is a really annoying thing. Ben Pryor, so frustrating. Yeah, agreed, Ben. Probably would have taken a point beforehand, considering our injuries and COVID. We massively missed Thiago in that game, and the control he gives. Lots still to play for, though, up the Reds. Yeah, and look, we can look at it from Liverpool's perspective. That's what we're here to do. We're a Liverpool channel, ultimately. Chelsea had their own issues, absolutely. They're certainly missing players, and some of them they've even chosen not to play in the Lukaku thing, which I think actually benefits them, because I think they're a much better team without him, even though he is obviously a good finisher. The Thiago thing I agree with, but we've had a lot of games of football without Thiago. I thought Milner had a good game first half. I get the decision to change him because he's very reactive. He was very focused on defending, whereas Keita gave them an extra thing to think about. But I think the players he was then looking to play with were just knackered by that point. And Ox is okay deputising in that position, but Jota had Thiago Silva gave Jota a hell of a game there. And so Ox coming up against one of the best centre-halves in the world, that, even albeit a tired one by that point, was going to be a bit of an ask. And the way the game had gone, it didn't quite work out for us. I think it's also worth mentioning as well that it's disappointing and it adds to the levels of frustration. But again, we didn't have the manager's not there. Whether Jurgen Klopp's just got something else that he can add, or just his presence on the touchline, it's an intangible. We'll never know. I do know very much that if you want to beat Manchester City, you make Pep lose his head. I think back to the Champions League when he gets sent off against us, and that's one of the turning points for it. Not having your manager on the touchline does definitely make a difference. So it's another consideration for us. Not so much even the players that we were missing there. It was not having a forward on the bench, being without Minamino and particularly Origi. Last couple of games, Leicester and later Chelsea there, that's what Divok's there for. That's what you need him for. That's when he normally enters Divok hero time. It's mad how much you miss, and he's our 5th choice forward. But that's the squad depth that we've just been robbed of because of injuries at the moment, unfortunately. Brian Glow. Feels like I've seen this game a few times before, and the context of the title race makes it more frustrating. However, great to see Sadio break his drought, and what a goal by Mo. We go again, Reds. Yeah, City have fucked it for everyone, haven't they? Let's be perfectly honest. Chelsea and Liverpool are at a very similar level, and I think Liverpool will finish above Chelsea this season, because I think we are the established old heads and they're still finding their way. They're still building towards their prime, which would be interesting because half their defence is out of contract in the summer, and what they do with that, of course. But City have just raised the bar, and to match Man City, you need to be perfect. Perfect. In fact, there's a stat, and we're going to do more on this on the IMR, led into match reaction later, but Andrew Beasley tweeted this: Man City and Liverpool have both led in 17 league games so far this season. City 17 wins, Liverpool 12 wins, and now 5 draws. And that's the difference. Man City are playing at a level above, and Liverpool managed to match that level for a couple of seasons. To not be able to match that level is no disgrace. It's just incredibly frustrating because that is the context of the football that we're watching these days. You need to be a 94-point season team to even come close, and you cannot win the league with that, which is mad. Because this is the Man City era, and we can cry arse and legitimately, by the way, over a lot of the things in way City has been constructed, but that's the level you got to match. Doesn't mean that Liverpool are crap or Chelsea are crap or anyone else is crap. It just means that they're on another planet when it comes to the league. When you've got those resources, you're meant to win the league every season. You just are, and that's annoying because it's making me feel worse about my football team, and it shouldn't, because Liverpool are brilliant. There's no shame in going to Stamford Bridge and getting a draw. It's annoying that we've dropped points from winning positions, and that's something that needs to be looked at. But if you're going to look at the games those 5 games that Liverpool have drawn from winning positions, you've drawn to Stamford Bridge without the manager and without 3 or 4 first team sort of players. I can accept that in the grand scheme of things. It's some of the other ones that are probably going to be the reason why we were undercut this season. Rabadam, who's joined as a first teamer, thank you so much. Welcome back. Patrick Evans, mate, personally feel like we need to sign a quality striker and a midfielder. Henderson played his worst game today, and Jota looked lazy some parts of this game. Jota's knackered, mate. Jota has played so much football because Bobby Firmino's not been available, and that's the issue. And I think that's the reason why he comes off the pitch, is because he's going to have to play all of January. He's probably going to play the League Cup game now, you'd imagine, because I think we really could do with winning that now, because we know the league's going to be out of reach. Go and pick up whatever silverware you can. And Henderson did have a poor game. He did. I thought his passing was a little bit off, but I actually think Fabinho struggled as well in that regard. So, there's a lot. Do we need to sign a quality striker in midfield? I don't think so. I don't. I think we've got. I think our midfield options are the best they've ever been, and I think our forward options are the best they've ever been. There's just no accounting for the players that we've got out, and that's not even the injury-prone players. Like Divock Origi isn't injury-prone. Minamino's not injury-prone. Firmino's not injury-prone. Firmino's got COVID. Shit happens. Firmino would have been fit and probably would have played this game, and you could see how much we were crying out for him today. shit happens. I wouldn't say this was the reason for all of that, although I know that's been an ongoing concern. Right, I will dive back into the live chat in a moment. So I just want to get a couple from Twitter, if you don't mind. We've got a couple of really good ones here. Actually, David Noonan says, kind of surrendered control of the game when you pick that midfield. Thiago Forst obviously counted well for most of the game, been unlucky with the wonder goal and the timing of it. Kelleher did well, decent result, but not enough, unfortunately. Yeah, I suppose I can see that point. I guess it's a point. I guess it's a point being made about Milner. Do you go with Keita or do you go with Ox? I don't think either of them are great left-sided midfield options. I think they're both much better on the right side of midfield. Milner is you tried and tested, you tried and true, been there, done it. And I thought Milner, I mean, there'll be some criticism about him giving away the free kick in the build-up to the goal, but that's the right thing to do. It's not Milner's fault that Liverpool concede from that. It's not. You know, he's doing midfield general like things and shutting them down in dangerous crossing positions. I've got no problem with that. He didn't quite do enough to support the attack, and that's I think it's Ben's point prior to that. Prior's point prior to that. Thiago as well. You know, yeah. Look, it is what it is. I don't think we surrendered the control in the midfield. I think Chelsea are just really good at home, and sometimes you have to kind of adapt to what you're up against. And it was no problem because we counter-attacked brilliantly, as the point is made here by David Noonan. Countered well for most of the game. Bit unlucky with the wonder goal and the timing of it. Kelleher did well, decent result, but not enough, unfortunately. Yeah, I agree with all of that, mate. Jonathan Hartley, any other time in football, a draw away at Chelsea is fine, but ... oil, yeah. Again, the Man City stuff is just, and I put this tweet out that absolutely fucking banged beyond comprehension last week about this, about how annoying it is when, you know, there's tons of these teams that are seen as like dominant football teams. Like Man United dominated the 90s and the early noughties, but barely ever won a league title above 85 points. Like, they won a handful of titles, and so did Arsenal, like high 70s, low 80s, and it'd be lovely. The sad thing, we just don't live in that world anymore. But the problem is, again, contextually, it makes us feel like Liverpool are somehow not good when they are. They're brilliant. I contend the three best football teams on the planet are Bayern Munich, Manchester City, and Liverpool. It's just that both of those teams are almost playing on a different playing field to what Liverpool are, and that's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. Craig Etherton, Van Dijk was poor today. Well done to Kelleher. Can't believe we were so sloppy. Would love to know how many times we gave the ball away. I don't think actually as many as Chelsea did, although they had more of the possession and therefore more passes. But it wasn't even that, like, a lot of the time, it wasn't even that we gave it away. We passed the ball away. The passes we played made it to the man, but they made it in such a way that we couldn't then construct a third pass. They were under pressure, and Chelsea pressed them really well. And it was just a lot of wanky passes. Again, played at waist and chest height, on the slightly behind and all that. There wasn't a fluidity to Liverpool's passing, which is something that so typifies how the Reds normally play. Yeah, it's a real shame. Got one from CZ Red here. Is one of our Club Legend subscribers on Redmen Plus. He says, mate, tough result that unfortunately might take us out of the title race completely. Keep pressure on City enough that they can't rotate in the league and get a treble. Yeah, absolutely. Look, that's it now. Liverpool are just going to hopefully continue to do what they've got to do, and I hope the motivation isn't stripped away from them to chase Man City down, because I wouldn't expect Man City to ever come close to dropping the amount of points required to get Liverpool back in the title race. But that doesn't mean you give up. You can't give up. Liverpool need to keep going and keep going and keep going. But January is going to be a wild month in terms of like trying to get ourselves in that regard. It's tricky. It's very tricky. Idad says a decent result considering who was missing and who we were playing. Everything's got a City filter on it. But we can't do anything about other teams playing them. I know. It is what it is. Right, let's get back to the live chat. We've got a few more comments here and a super chat before we wrap up. Metal Saviour, great name. Need to buff up on midfield. We missed Thiago. Bobby would have linked up play a bit as well. Yeah, it is. This is the thing. Like, our injury-prone players are meant to be Naby Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain, and both of them were fit and available for this game. We could have. And I suppose, like, let's chuck Thiago in there as well. Although I think he's been a little bit unlucky at times. Yeah, I think our midfield's largely fine, but. Yeah, whatever. There's nothing I can do to change people's opinions on that today. Because Chelsea's midfield, Kovacic and Kante were amazing. Right, Rabadam almost over. City will win all remaining games. Only positive is the Pep will arrogance away the Champions League again. Yeah, City won't win all their remaining games. They won't, but I don't think it matters because they don't need to anymore. They can literally lose nearly three games of football and probably be absolutely fine. And Liverpool and Chelsea will probably drop more points again between now and the end. Metal Saviour again. Jones needed to come on before Ox. No, I get the Ox thing. I do. Jota's goosed and he's got some big games coming up. You know, he's got Arsenal on Thursday. He's going to play Arsenal the Thursday after that. Then he's got 2 or 3 potential league games in January that he needs to play in all of them without any reasonable rotation. And particularly because I don't know where Origi's at. And I don't know where Minamino's at. I'd imagine Minamino might make Arsenal, if not Shrewsbury, if not the second leg of that. But there's nowhere. I've heard no word on Origi. He could be out for the month. And if he's out for the month, then Jota's playing a lot of footy. So it's fine. Ox can do that. Just. Yeah, it wasn't quite his game, and Jones should come in. Jones needs to play some more football, really, because I think he's good. But again, I think he will. I think we'll see Jones over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully gets him back up to speed. Kev Wright made so many players weren't on the ball today when we needed them most. Jota and Hendo, to name a couple. Can't help but feel like we could have done with a winter break. What are your thoughts? I'd love a winter break, mate. We'll say that, but we get one next winter, technically, when the World Cup's on, and it'll be crap. Jota was okay. A couple of moments where I think, again, look, Thiago Silva's brilliant as well, and he just, no shame in maybe coming out worse in a battle against one of the best centre-halves on the planet, because the best centre-halves in world football come against Virgil often and don't come away, with a good performance, and we go, oh yeah, Virgil's class, and we don't think about the other side of it. We got a super chat here from Bruce Chua. Missed Bobby between the lines. Yep, dropping into midfield to help us. Kante dominated us. Definitely the Thiago to control the game. Tough result to swallow. Yeah, absolutely. I think Fabinho got a little overrun, and that meant that we just had less time on the ball. And again, I think the midfield was the right midfield to stifle Chelsea. But it definitely wasn't. It definitely didn't help us maintain possession. But Henderson, again, if Henderson has a better game, I think we have an all-round better game. But it happens. Look, him and Fabinho have both been written off with illness in the last couple of weeks as well, and both played a lot of footy. And again, Chelsea have got a brilliant midfield at home, with a lot of things going for them. I wouldn't read too much into it too much, hopefully. But Bobby definitely would have been nice to have Bobby Firmino for this game. I think this would have been ideal for him. Neverman is here. One big case of COVID to Man City would do it. Not that I would wish that on anyone. Yeah, look, again, my only advice on this is you just got to switch off to City. And I know it's annoying because they're everywhere. It's nice to just talk about how boss Liverpool are. We can still do that. Liverpool are boss. They are. It's undoubted that Liverpool are amazing. It's still some of the stuff we've done this season is sensational, and we're going to have more of that as the season goes on, of course. But you've just got to kind of switch off to Man City, unfortunately, because they are on another level. And if they manage to cock it up historically, that would be wonderful. But they probably won't. So yeah, you can choose to have that make you really depressed, or you can choose to not have it make you really depressed. It is your choice. Gareth Baird with the £5 super chat. Thank you, Gareth. City have been lucky with COVID and injuries so far. They will slip soon. They might, but that's a big slip. That's not a slip. That's a slip, trip, and a fall. And then being denied the compo claim because it's maybe because it was your mum that mopped the floor. I don't know. That I can't really see that. But again, that's the point. In hope and expectation, great, but there's no point in. I'm known as an eternal optimist. This is me giving the glass half full. It's still possible, but don't try. Let's try not to do our heads in. Anyway. Right, Henderson's worst game for Liverpool in a while, says CLB6, giving the ball away so much. A lot of them did, mate, yeah. Let's see, Neverman is here. Agreeing with Gareth, says, agreed, they can lose a full first team and still bring the pain. Hate them, but have to respect them too. Nah, choose not to. Patrick Evans, mate, we should hopefully have Harvey, Origi and Taki back for the second leg against Arsenal or the league game after. That would be lovely. I mean, Harvey Elliott, you're not seeing Harvey Elliott making any positive contributions this side till February at least. I'd imagine, even if he's back, we need to be careful. Let's blood him back in the right way. But this is, again, it's tough because we've had many years when Liverpool's title ambitions have been dead and buried. It's just mad that it feels like they're dead and buried on the 2nd of January. And yet I know this side is one of the best sides on planet Earth. It doesn't, the two things don't correlate because they're not meant to, because they're just not. How's that supposed to be right? But that's, yeah, life sucks, doesn't it? It's like I'm gutted that I'm going to end up turning 40 having missed all the best end of my 30s years because we've been locked down and not been able to live our lives. It's gutting, but nothing we can do about it. You just got to kind of change your mindset and find something else to keep your attention focused on. Yeah. Neverman here, agreed with Mage. No, I love footy with win, lose or draw. Yeah, plenty of things to be happy about. And the good thing is, again, Mo Salah scoring another goal. We've still got the best player on the planet. Not going to have him for a month. I mean, as much as I want him to succeed in life, I'm now back into the really horrible twatish way of thinking of just hoping that our players involved in AFCON come home really, really early. I'm praying for knockouts in the group stages. Sorry if you're from those respective nations. I don't care about my own nation's hopes at international tournaments, so I certainly don't give a shit about yours. Right. More to come from us, whether you need it or not. Chris is going to be doing player ratings shortly, and then we'll be back with the instant match reaction. If you want to go and check this out, it is over on the redmentv.com right now. You can go in your browser or on your phone or any of those kind of things. Redmen plus our Liverpool streaming service. If you can see right now, the instant match reaction show is there. It is waiting for you. We'll be there in probably about 40 minutes time, so you've got time to sign up, join as a club captain, get all the content, join as a club legend and get all the bonus perks as well, which you'll be able to see on the website just by clicking that join today button that's big and yellow on the right hand side of the page, and have a little delve through our content, because Liverpool aren't exactly firing on all cylinders on the pitch right now, but we are on Redmen Plus. Some amazing content to keep you entertained, keep your chin up. You want to talk about Liverpool, you want Liverpool in your lives, but maybe they're making you a bit sad. Don't worry about it. We've got lots of cheery Liverpool content on there, documentaries, features, interviews and all that good stuff, and I hope to see it over there in about 40 minutes time for the instant match reaction, where we hopefully feel a little bit better about this game when we talk it through in more detail. Ta-ra. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want more from us, consider joining Redmen Plus, our Liverpool streaming service. It's like Netflix for Liverpool fans. Fantastic documentaries, interviews, features, and learn more about the culture of the club, as well as bonus Redmen shows as well. And if you join as a club legend, you get your name there, the redmentv.com.